When it comes to the abortion issue, we often hear the argument that it's needed in order to save the life of a mother. But that's a misconception that comes from the misinformation being spread by the pro-abortion lobby to instill fear into the general public. So what's the truth? Well, Family Research Council has a series of resources on difficult conversations about abortion, and the latest installment addresses this very question. Is abortion ever medically necessary? Joining me now to discuss this is one of the authors of the resource, Mary Szoch, director of the Center for Biblical Worldview at the Center for Life here at the Family Research Council. Mary, welcome back to Washington Watch. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me on.
All right, so let's dive straight into the main question. Is abortion ever medically necessary?
It's not, Tony. And per the CDC's definition, abortion is the intentional ending of a pregnancy that falls in line with a state's legal parameters. So under that definition, the intentional killing of an unborn child, abortion is never medically necessary to save a mother's life. And in fact, performing an abortion on a pregnant mother would make things worse for her, would put her in greater jeopardy than performing, say, an early induction or a premature delivery. So we know that the best course of action for every patient in this scenario is for physicians to actually treat both patients with dignity and respect.
The misconception that's being pushed out there is that pro-life laws would prohibit doctors from saving the life of a mother, and the only way to save the life of the mother would be to abort the baby. That's not true. If a doctor is serving the first patient, which is the mother, and something happens to the baby in the process of saving the mother, that's not an abortion.
No, absolutely not. And we know when an abortion happens where a baby lives, when an abortionist is trying to intentionally kill an unborn child and that baby miraculously lives, that's called a failed abortion. When a physician is performing an early delivery and that baby lives, everyone cheers. That's the outcome that everyone hopes for, the miracle that everyone's been praying for. And we know that there are those cases where a woman's membranes have ruptured or where she has a heart condition or perhaps even cancer that requires some sort of treatment for her that could inadvertently cause harm to her baby. But we know in those situations, the intention and the direct action are not taken to kill that child. The intention and direct action are taken to preserve the life of her mother.
Right. So first off, it's helpful to have the right terms. An abortion is the intentional killing of an unborn child, taking the life of a child. That's intentional. When you are working to save the life of a mother, and in the process that her baby were to die, that's not an abortion. And so they're conflating this, and they're trying to misguide and mislead by conflating terms, misusing terms, just to scare the public, are they not?
To scare the public and to scare physicians, quite frankly. We have seen a number of cases. ProPublica has documented several instances where they have sort of manipulated the facts to make it try to appear that pro-life laws somehow endangered a mother's life, but that's not the case at all. In those situations, in at least two of the cases, it was in fact likely the negligence of the abortionist or of the physicians treating the mother. Because of this information that is being spread by the abortion lobby, physicians are confused. They are wondering, what can we do? What can't we do? We never worried about this before Dobbs. Do we have to worry about it now? And that is on the abortion industry. Pro-lifers are out there saying, you can treat a mom.
That is so sad. They are putting the lives of women at risk in order to advance their agenda, which is to protect abortion. It's tragic what the abortion industry is doing. But again, it lays bare what we've known all along, it's profit driven. It's not about the health or well-being of women, and certainly not of babies. Mary, where can folks get a copy of this new publication regarding difficult conversations about abortion?
It's at frc.org/difficult conversations. And you'll find conversations not only on this topic, but also on the conversation of rape and incest, on ectopic pregnancy, and other conversations that you might find challenging to start regarding protecting the dignity of the unborn child.
So these are written in such a way that someone can read through it. They'll then have a basic understanding of how they can engage in conversations to, very compassionately, but with firmness, push back on the false narratives that many people are just repeating because they don't have the facts.
Right. And our first point in all of these is to make sure that you listen and that you respond with compassion, always assuming that the person you talk to may have some sort of a personal connection to whatever the issue is that you're having a heated discussion over. Yeah. So pray for the help of the Holy Spirit, listen, and then respond with truth and love.
That's it. Mary, thanks so much for joining us. And again, great work once again.
Thanks so much for having me.